So I want to show how to prepare the submittal so that you can publish it as a PDF file, since not everybody can share their model live at our meetings. You should have an enlarged view, you should have a section, and you should have some internal elevations for the one room that you've kitted out with everything in it. The breakdown on here is that as I get used to the 2026 thing is here, you have the shell and you have the DWG files attached, but you won't have them switched on. And I will be able to link them and look at them in your model. You should have a group of some sort in your project. For example, this was a seeding group, but any group where you're repeating objects should be in your model. We're going to create this. This is the sheets that we're going to create, maybe like 5 of them. It's up to you. You can do more, but don't do less. I'm going to have one that's just going to call it visualization for things like renderings. So I'm going to get rid of what I've got here and then show how it was reproduced. So I can actually pick my cover sheet, my plans, my sections, my elevations, my visualization, and I can right click and I can say delete all of these sheets. So the breakdown on the actual model itself would be that I deleted any views that I don't need, like the site view, like the roof view, and anything that you don't want to have in your project anymore, you can delete. So anything that's here should be named. Cutaways, you don't strictly need the interior or exterior views, but whatever customization you've done, put your initials on it to show what the view actually kind of looks like. So looking at the lobby, all that stuff. So basically a little cleanup, but no section 35 or camera 45. That should all be gone, only things that are named. So first things first, I'll just show you that on the families here, and under annotation, there are these are the title blocks. So what I'm going to do is delete them as well to show you where I got them from. Right click and delete. And we're starting the process of creating our submittal. So first things first, I would go to the Insert tab, go to the Load Autodesk family, and look on the cloud for the objects called title blocks. So if I scroll down here, it's actually at the very bottom, but these title blocks. Important to use these, I think, rather than you can draft your own. You could, strictly speaking, you could do a lot of things, but the sheets, the title blocks, I should say, also have nested families in them that do things like manage revisions. So you'd be better always to start with something that's here, open it, edit it, and change it. I'm not going to show some of the more, I'm only going to show these two. So a cover sheet and the e-sized 30 by 42. So loading that is bringing them into your project, and you would see them as families under annotation symbols. The next thing you want to do is because I deleted the sheets that I had here, is go to the view, go to schedules, and say that you want to create a sheet list. So a sheet list is like any other schedule. It's going to bring data from what's in the project, what's available in the project, into what you want to have in the list. And the two things that we want would be sheet number, sheet name. There's lots of other things you could add, but let's just begin with do that. So sheet number and name, and then I'm going to put the number first and the name second. So what I see there is something that looks very much like a schedule. And I can add to this what I want. So I'm going to right click on here and say insert a data row. And what I would do is set this up so that this is beginning. So I'm using it could be anything, but I'm saying, what if it was internal, or sorry, what if it was interior design, and I could do 101, whatever I want. I'm going to just go 001 like this. And then what do I want to call this? I'm going to call it cover. So that's going to be the cover sheet. So the reason I did that is because when you add in your next data row, you'll see that it increments the number. Right, so I just do that. So I've got like 5 numbered sheets, and then I'm going to name them. So Office would have all of this prepared for you, but I'm going to just say plans, maybe internal elevations, sections, and some kind of visualization. That would be the idea. So I've got the sheet list in. Now what I want to do is with the families that we brought in. So if I go to families here, this was our cover sheet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up. So here I'll say edit. And it's got these parameters in it that will be filled out when we add information later. I'm going to remove the Autodesk thing there, and then I'll just say load it back into the project and save it. So it's you're saving it outside, but you're also bringing it into the project, so it's going to be like we saw it. So, and then the same with the other one, but I'm going to say edit, and what I'd suggest that you do is you can get rid of this. You could put in your website if you wanted. Whatever you're putting in there. You could add, this is just kind of dumb text, but you could add your consultant's name, their addresses, all of this stuff. The important bit that I have down here is this is a nested family that has parameters in it that fill out when you make revisions in Revit. You've got a client name. So you could either you could enter the data and it will fill out in here. Some of these are what are called instance parameters, so they're unique to every view, every sheet, and some of them are project parameters that are being driven by the project and are global through the thing. So client name, for example, when I change it, it's going to change for all the sheets. And I'll show you how to do that. But what I do want you to do here is go to this area and say insert, import an image. And I've got a bunch of them here, but I did like a UCB logo. It'll be whatever you want to have to put into your thing. Maybe I'm not allowed to do that. I'm not sure. Let me try insert your company logo. So import an image. I think I have other ones up here. Yeah, so maybe, it could be whatever you want to do to put your company logo, your picture, anything you want onto the sheet. So I'm going to load it into the project and save it at the same time out, just so I've got it for I don't have to recreate it. And then I can work with it. So now I've got the title blocks set up, and I want to manage the generation of the actual list of drawings. So that would be under sheet, right? Because you can do sheets one by one where you kind of right click and you give it a name and all that stuff, but this is the faster way to do it. So when you click on that, you'll see that this list that you produced is shown in the lower part of this dialog box. So I could say for the cover sheet, I'm going to use that title block and I want to create this. So when I do that, it creates it. And whatever information I have added, I'll change this later so you see it, but that would be our cover sheet. So the next thing would be for the other sheets, I'm going to use the E1, but what I'm going to do is just highlight all of these. So, and that would mean that I can create all of these sheets at one time with the custom logo and all the rest of it. So then it's good to go. So looking at the list of I can close this and close this. Now that I've got my sheets, I can see them on here, right? So I can make a sheet active like this, and I can look at the content that's on my objects here. And what you should be doing is taking, this is the cover sheet. So what I could be doing, for example, could be, I want to, if I've saved, I can either save renderings to my model, not a good practice because it adds to the model size, but the plus side would be that I can drop it onto here. I'm going to change the scale. Sorry, I'll show that in another view. Let's do it from the scratch. So let's say in my views here, if I've saved renderings, like this would be an example of a saved rendering for the training room. I can drag it in here, and what it's going to do is it's going to show the image file along with whatever the name of the rendering view was. let me go to the other sheets that I've got here. So for the plans, for example, here, it's from the, I'm going to go back to the way I normally work with this. It's from, I'm showing everything on here. It's from the construction documents that you want to get the files in here for the plans. Now, the name on the browser is usually just kept as levels and what they are. But if you notice on the properties, there is an option that says, you know, what is the name on the title on the sheet. So it can be, these are different. And what it would mean would be, for example, just if I show you, if I said level 1 ground floor, right? What it means is that when I bring it in, it'll show level 1 ground floor on the documentation part. The other thing would be on here, and believe me, there's better ways. There's ways to customize this where it's not as much manual work as we're doing, but this is what is behind the customization that you might encounter. So I've got the scale as being 1/8 of an inch, right? And so when I drag this in, so I'm going to do the level 1 construction document and bring it in, and you see I can place it on my sheet. I'm going to pop it up here. And my construction document has the rooms displayed, and it has all the objects that you want to see, including the elevation marks, sections, all in there. And then for my level 2 construction document, I can bring this in and I can drop it down here somewhere. This is a little counterintuitive, but if you pick the actual view, this is going to let me change this title bar here. If you need to do that, I'm just going to go with it as it is, showing all the extents of this. And my enlarged view, which was my enlarged view was the, if I, let me make it so I can do this. I can go to my construction document here. You probably have it already, but your enlarged view would be this call out. And I'll just use I'll do the call out and I'll just use the rectangle. So I'm going to go like that. On my construction document view, I can take that marker and move it up out of the way. And these will fill in as soon as you put the view onto a sheet to say what is the sheet number and what is the name of the sheet. So there's my view, which was this level 1 callout here. And what I'm going to do is rename that as so I did have it there. I thought didn't have it, but I did have it. Let me delete that. So I do have a callout view and it can go onto my sheet. So I just renamed it. So when I do that, I've got it on my sheet there. Same thing, you can you can change the naming for what's on the sheet as opposed to what's in the browser. So, and you see they're filling out in blue. So I've got level 1, level 2, and I've got my enlarged view here. And then my sheets again. So back to the sheets. Internal elevations. So if I go to that sheet, I'm going to simplify my tabs again. My internal elevations, if I'm looking at views, sorry, are things like this, where I've got like that was the name on the browser, and you've got the option of changing it up here, or if you don't, you'll be using the name that's on here. So if I bring that in, I'm going to make those bigger. So the scale, east wall, half an inch to the foot. So say if I want them to be larger, I can do it like that. Whatever the view settings are, so these were set as being visible, and let me just pick these other ones here. I think I can change them all at the same time. Let me make them all half inch to the foot before I bring them in. So I'm going to do, oh, that's way too large. That's a bit confusing. Why am I seeing? Oh, sorry, my bad. So you catch your mistakes quickly there. That to there, the scale was to be half inch to the foot. Okay, so I can bring them in. I can move them around. You do want to be, for these views, you want to be going from the crop region, and there needs to go from just below the level to just below the level 2. Sections, for example, so if I go to this cross section here, that would be something that I could make the view active for my project. So I'm going to go on my sheet again. Sorry. Sheet would be sections. And then from the views, can't get used to switching around like that. But any sections that I've got, so this here, I'm going to make that like, let me try it at 1/4 inch to the foot. Yeah, so that would kind of come in here, and that would be, again, whatever the view settings are, realistic and particular setup. And on the last sheet, this visualization sheet. So there's two different ways you could be doing this. You could be saying insert an image, and you could be picking from any image that you exported and saved out. I mean, some of these are, you can see how long they took. Room with Region took 38 minutes to render it. But I could like bring it in, and I could use text to actually just add a description for what's here. So I could say under annotate, just give me some text and type and put training room. Right. I could do it like that. Or if I save my views into my rendered views into the browser in the project, which is not really what I recommend, but I'm thinking of, I wanted to show the three different options. So that would be an outside image that you bring in and then you just use text. Then you could have views that are just using the view settings, like the cutaway view, where you can drop that in, and cutaway for level 2. I've got that at 8 scale. You can move these around once you've got them in your project. So I'm using the arrow keys to just kind of position them. We don't need these. Any kind of view that you've got here that you want to bring in, wherever the settings are in the view. So if I'm saying like down here, make it realistic, what time of day is it, all of that, that would be the third option. So back on my sheets that I was calling visualization like this. Views that are just like looking at my training room. Would be just fine there. Notice that it's all connected. And by the way, not for this, because that's just an image, but you see if I click in here, I'm actually going into the view. And if I'm in the view, I can access these things to say, maybe I just want that to be hidden line. So I can edit the view while I'm on a sheet, much like paper space, model space. I'll double click on that to come back. I did point this out. If I've got a click to be back on the sheet, and if I click on there, I can move my title bars around. Sorry. I was going to move that title bar up. So to move it up, I can pick it independently and move it up to there. So I think I've got, that would be kind of how we set this all up. So the last part of this would be how do we actually produce the PDF file that we want. So just to confirm, what I've got is my sheets. I've got some visualization. I've got my sections. I don't like that. I'm used to using this where I can just see everything I want and turn things on and off as I want. So let me just do minimize, collapse all. So now I want to make my actual PDF file. So I can go File, Export, a PDF. Oh, we've got one thing I didn't show you. Under the Manage tab and under Project Information, this is where you fill out whatever you want to be seeing on the title bars here. So where I've got it showing as organization name, description, whatever you want to call this. Actually, let's just call that whatever you want to refer to it as. Author, and then also down here, you could have client name, project address, hello, why am I not getting... filling out this stuff, project number, and OK. So that would populate those sheets. So back to the PDF. So I'm going to go to File, Export, a PDF. Is it just the current view? No. Is it a visible portion of the current view? No. Is it selected views or sheet? Yes. So we've got sheets. If you scroll down, you're going to find sheet here, ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can select those, and you can also you could save it. Save as not set one, but construction document, say December 2025. So that way you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can come back and select your listings of what you want to have. And then really the views themselves, I turned off things like reference planes, scope boxes, but when you plot, they actually get turned off automatically by default where this is going on. You can say export in the background, and there's a little PDF thing that explains exactly what we've just done here. The views are going to be, everything's centered. We're ready to export, so I can say export. It's going to be called interior JCC, whatever we've got up here for the file name. And I can say yes, export it. And that's going to create the PDF. That will take just a few seconds, maybe 2 minutes. So this is what the PDF file would look like. And you should be able to have some fun with it.